Hello everyone, welcome to String ADT. In this project, we are going to analyze the built-in string classes like string, StringBuffer and StringTokenizer. So we'll have a file. This is the structure of our project. We'll have a file called project description. Here we have a small description of this project. This project is to study the built-in classes string, StringBuffer and StringTokenizer. We will going to explore all the important functions of these classes, and finally we will develop an console Hangman game. This is the structure of IntelliJ IDEA Project Explorer. Here are our project package. This is the auto-generated file from the IDE. All these are the output files of our project. We'll have the source folder which contain all the Java files. Here we'll have different packages like interfaces, StringBuffer, StringMain, StringTokenizer. This interface package contain two interfaces. One is string base, another is StringTokenizer. These interfaces are developed to implement the functionality on the different classes we are going to create. Like in string main, we will create an string ADT main which will implement the string base, and in StringTokenizer we will going to have a lexical class in which we will going to implement the StringTokenizer interface. And in this package StringBuffer we are going to develop a game called Hangman. So we will start our project by exploring the very first interface called string base. As you can see, this interface having all these methods, like one is show structure, other is less than, then greater than, then star count, find substring, first word. Okay. In interface, it's not compulsory to write public, express, or abstract. All the methods defined in the interface are of type public and abstract. So why we have written it over here? Just to show you, if you are writing, then it will not going to affect anything. But by default, the methods defined in the interface are public and abstract. And the property of abstract method is it's terminated. It do not have any body. Okay, so we'll have this method abstract void show structure. This method, in this method, what we are expecting is to whatever the string we are going to pass as an argument is going to display on screen with indexes. Like indexes, like as we all know, a string is a character sequence. Okay, it's a sequence of character, so we can split it into an array which is obviously of character array. So this method will show the structure of any particular string in a manner where we can show, where we can display the indexes of every particular string. In this less than and greater than method, we are going to implement the compare to method of string class. Here we will have a left string. We are checking whether the left string is smaller or less than the right string in the alphabetical order. That is the lexicographical analysis. So we are going to implement the compare to method of string class. In greater than, we'll do the same thing. We'll implement the compare to method. In string character count, in this method, what we'll do, we'll have an input string and a character. will count the number of occurrence of that character in this input string. So we are not going to compare it by writing a function where we'll compare character. We are going to implement a function of a string class which is index of. So index of is an overloaded function. We are going to implement, or we are going to use index of a character which contains two argument. One is character, and from the index where we are going to search for that character. Then we'll have another method called find substring. Here in this find substring, what we'll have in test string, we'll have a start and a count. In this method, what we are going to find the substring from this string from the index, starting index and the ending index. The starting index is inclusive, the ending index is exclusive. What we'll do, we'll find the substring and it will return an substring from the test string. In this function, we are going to implement the substring function. Substring function of string class is also an overloaded method. And then we'll have a method. Here you can identify we haven't written public abstract because by default all the method of interfaces are public and abstract. So in this first letter word, so we have to find from the input string the very first word. There are n number of ways to find it. What we did for finding this, we can use the split function. We can write down our own function where we can identify the space and then we can write down. So now we'll check now we're going to check. Now we will going to explore the string ADT main class. In this class has implemented the string based interface. So while implementing this string based interface, what we have to do, we have to override all the method written or declared in the string base. So here we can check. Here we are checking, seeing that show structure is a overridden method which came from the base interface. Show structure, here we have implemented this method. Likewise, we have implemented greater than, less than, and we have implemented greater than. We have implemented star string char count. We have implemented find substring, and we have implemented the first letter word method also. So in this way we have implemented all the method. So now we will going to discuss what we are going to use. The very first method, what we will have to do is we have to implement all the required method like show structure, less than, greater than, star count, find substring, first letter word. All these methods are used to implement method from built-in string class. Okay, the show structure method is used to print input string in the below pattern, like on the this is the 0 is the first index. Like we all know, all the arrays are started with a 0 index. So h, we'll see h is at 0 index, e is at 1, l is at 2, 3 is l is again the l is on third index, and 0 is on the o is on the fourth index. Then on fifth index there's an space. Then we'll have w on 6th, o on 7th, r on 8, l on 9, d on 10, and exclamation on 11. So in this way we have to implement the characters. like how we can access these characters from a string hello world exclamation. So what the character in the string can be manipulated one at a time with the use of character at, with the use of this method caret index method. It is also a predefined method in the string class. Okay, so in this so structure method, what we are doing, we are printing the indexes first, because on the very first line we have to print all the indexes. To print the index, what we are using a for loop. We are using a for loop for printing the index. So what we are going to do in this for loop, we are starting the loop from 0. As we all know, the first index is 0. We are going till the length of a string. As we all know, the length of string is this string, the example string is, we can count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. We'll have total 12 character including space and exclamation. So that's why we are starting our index from 0. We are printing the first index 0 to the less than, printing till less than the length of string, which is 12. So less than 11 is less than 12, and this is the increment. This is used, we are using print method instead of println, because the requirement is to print tab separated index in the same line. We use \t, which is an escape sequence for a tab separation. We use the inbuilt out object, the output print stream object, to print the output on the console screen. We have used the print method. This from the system print method is of the print stream, and we are having the default output stream over here, and we have just print the index and a tab. So while printing, when we print, we have print all the tabs. So there's a tab after this 11th index also. Now what we are going to declare in a variable, a character value, which is going to hold the character value. We have declared a variable of type data of type char, and we have named it as character. So again we'll have to do the loop. Like, why there's two loops? Because this will have to print two things, and we cannot print them simultaneously. So that's why we have two loops over here. So in this loop, what we are going to have, we are printing the character on particular index. The for loop is similar. We are using the string class method caret int index to get a particular character on a given index. So here we are having this character variable to hold that character. What? Any method of a class can be called from the object of that class. We'll have an object str, which is passed as an argument, str dot caret I. Here I is the int index. Okay, required a bit correction. Okay, like the caret, and what we are printing the character with a tab. That's all for this video. We are going to discuss the rest of the method in the next video.